Do you love maths problems and riddles? Then have a go at the one on the screen right now. It's a GCSE level problem, or for those outside of the UK, a high school maths level problem. And as long as you have knowledge of a bit of algebra and adding, subtracting and multiplying fractions, then you should be able to solve this. On the other hand, maybe you're someone that struggles with problem solving. In that case, give it a go. But stick around and I can help walk you through the solution and maybe give some tips as to how to tackle these types of worded problem solving questions in the future. Alright, so let's get into it. This question says, Laura, Anton and Hila have spent the entire weekend coding for a new project. Between them they have drunk 54 cans of energy drink. They each have their own empty cans on their desks. Laura passes a quarter of her cans to Anton. Anton then passes half of his current cans to Hila. Hila passes a third of the total cans she now has to Laura. They each now have 18 cans. How many cans did each person drink? Okay, so firstly, let's figure out what's going on here. In total, we have 54 cans of energy drink. And the first thing that happens is that Laura passes a quarter of her empty cans to Anton. So that's the first pass of cans. And then Anton has a new total, so plus the quarter of the cans from Laura, plus the cans that he's drunk, and then he passes half of those to Hila. Hila passes a third of those total cans that she's received, plus the ones he's drunk, and she passes those to Laura. Now they each have a total of 18. Okay, so we need to figure out the original amount that they each started with. And there's something in this question that you kind of need to decode a little bit. So there's a clue with this: Anton passes half of his current cans to Hila. That's where we're going to start. Because we're told each person ends up with 18 cans, if Anton passed half of his cans and then finished with 18 cans, how many cans has he passed on? He must have passed the same amount on to Hila as he has now, because he passed half of them on. So Anton passed 18 cans to Hila. Therefore, Hila is going to have her original amount plus 18, the 18 she received from Anton, and then she passes a third of that to Laura. Okay, so let's go ahead and write some of this down. So for Anton, I'm going to use A for Anton, and what he's ended up with is 18. I'm going to use A2 to represent what he's ended with, and then A will be what he started with. And now we want to write an equation to represent the cans that Hila is left with after she passes a third to Laura. So she started with her original amount of cans that she drank. We'll call that H. She's received 18 from Anton, and then she passes a third of that to Laura. So how much is she left with? She's left with 2/3. And we know that she ended up with 18 cans. So 2/3 of her original amount plus 18 cans from Anton equals 18. We have created an equation that we can solve for the original amount Hila had. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing I would probably do is divide by 2 on the right hand side. Divide by 2 over here. If this is 2/3 times H plus 18, then I can divide by 2 on the right hand side to undo that multiplication. And then I can multiply by 3 to get rid of that third. So this would be 9 times 3 on the right hand side. So on the left, I'll have H plus 18 equals 27. And then H equals 27 take 18. 27 take 18 is 9. So the original amount of cans that Hila drank was 9. Okay, now let's go ahead and figure out the next step. What's the next one we could figure out? Well, if we follow this cycle of cans, Hila passes a third of her cans to Laura. Let's go back a second. Remember, Hila was passed 18 cans, and then she passed a third of that. So how much did she pass on? Well, she had 9 cans, she's received 18, so she had 27 cans. Then she passed a third of that. So a third of 27 would be 9. So Hila has passed 9 cans to Laura. At the very start, she passed a quarter of her cans to Anton, therefore she's left with 3/4 of her original amount. So 3/4 L, L standing for the original amount of drink she drank herself. And remember, they all ended up with 18. So this equals 18. To solve for L here, firstly, we need to get rid of this 9, take it away from the right-hand side, do the opposite. We'll be left with 3/4 L equals 9. And again, divide by 3 on the right-hand side to get rid of this multiplied by 3, and then multiply by 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3 times 4 is 12. Therefore, Laura drank 12 cans of energy drink herself. Okay. Last one to figure out is Anton. Anton received a quarter of Laura's original cans. That was the first pass that happened. Laura passed a quarter of her cans to Anton. A quarter of 12 is 3. So we had Anton's original amount of cans plus 3. And then he passed half of those to Hila. So we'll have half of this. And he ended up with 18. Okay. Now we have the final equation we can solve for Anton's number of drinks. So then, if I'm dividing by 2 or halving this side, then multiply the right-hand side by 2. Do the opposite on the right-hand side. This will be A plus 3 equals 36. And then to get A by itself, subtract 3. This will be A equals 33. Okay, there you go. Let me know how you went with that problem. Did you find it interesting? Did you find it difficult? How did you go? Let me know in the comments, please. I'd really love to hear how you went, and maybe pass it on to someone, or even write it down and then try to fool someone. Say, here's a problem that I don't think you can solve. Or even if you're really sneaky, put your maths teacher on the spot. See if they can get it. Watch them squiggle and squirm as they're given this kind of difficult problem that's actually kind of easy when you get it, and see if they can get it themselves. Leave a like if you appreciated this video, and subscribe if you want to see more content. That's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.